Let's dance. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Elite 8 Edition Sunday Style. I am Guns Picks, and this is the Breakin Ankles show. And man, oh man, did we have ourselves a day yesterday. 3 picks, hit them all, cash those, booms, just hitting buttons.
Bang, bang.
That's right. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Your boy in the building saying, yo, what up, man? I see Cliff saying, let's go. Oh, Sam. I don't know if we're going to agree on that one. I'll get to that one in a second here. Oh, 3-0 yesterday. Need to continue the momentum. Need to bring it into this game. And I think I'm going a little bit different than everybody else on this one. But let's talk about the first game that is coming up on the board here. It's San Diego State versus Creighton. This game tips off at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm going with San Diego State on this one, plus 2.5, and the money line plus 125. Listen, San Diego State, great defense. And I think this is what's going to be the difference in this game. Also, you have to understand the depth factor that San Diego State has over Creighton. Let's talk about these two teams and where they came from. So here, San Diego State, they beat College of Charleston 63 to 57. Easy win. And then they had an easy win over Furman. A great offense, by the way, for Furman, and beat them badly 75 to 52. And then they go and they beat the number 1 team in the country here, the number 1 overall seed, the one that they thought was going to win the championship, Alabama, and absolutely dominated them on the defensive side of the ball to get that W. Now, Creighton's pretty much had an easy path, in my opinion. They go and beat NC State as 5.5-point favorites. They go and beat Baylor, probably their toughest game on the board, but Baylor was kind of like falling off the map at the end of the year anyways. Beat them with ease, and then they go against Princeton, the 15 seed. Cinderella story, beat them by 11 as 10.5-point dogs. Michael in the building. I see you, buddy. What's going on? And then, Sam, we got to talk about Texas. Well, I'm going to talk about Texas too here real quick. But let's get into the cap on this one. Break these two teams down. We know San Diego State's offense isn't great, 70th in offensive efficiency, 212th in field goal percentage, 76 in offensive rebounding. Not a good free throw shooting team. It's probably their weak point, but they keep the scores low and they predicate everything that they do on their defense. We have Creighton here. Creighton's 14th in defensive efficiency, 44th in defending shots, 11th in defensive rebounding, and they're not a team that's going to go and suffocate you and create turnovers. So that could be an advantage for San Diego State. They're allowed to kind of run the offense and do what they need to do in this game. But you got the San Diego State defense suffocating as hell. 4th in the country in defensive efficiency, 20th in defending shots, 67th in defensive rebounds, and they're 104th in creating turnovers. And then you got Creighton. I know Creighton's offense is good, but they're 21st in offensive efficiency, 24th in field goal percentage. Not a great offensive rebounding team, which is kind of weird considering the height advantage that they have inside. But they're 12th on the free throw line in terms of percentage, and they relatively good at taking care of the ball. But I looked at this a little bit further. I want to know, what does Creighton want to do with the basketball? What do they want to do? They're a little bit mixed on that one. They can shoot the three. They have good guard play. They have a good center in Cockbrenner inside. But I wanted to see what San Diego State's defense did versus the offense that they've played, okay? So bear with me here. College of Charleston was 148th in field goal percentage in the country, which is middle of the road. Held them to 41% in 2-point range, 20.8% in 3-point range. Then they go against Furman. Furman 18th in the country as far as field goal percentage is concerned. 41.7% from the floor inside the arc and 23.1% by the three. That was a great hold by San Diego State. And now they carry this over to the number 1 overall team in the country in Bama, who's 88th in field goal percentage, held them to 45.5% from the two and 11.1% from the three. So they're going to get in your face. They're going to contest shots. They're an athletic team. They got depth too. If you actually look at the depth factor on these two teams, you have San Diego State basically using 9 deep. They're 31st in bench minutes. Whereas you look at Creighton, they're 6 deep only on this team, and they're 351st in the country in bench minutes. So you have a San Diego State that will have fresh legs on the floor. virtually constantly. They only have like one or two guys that pretty much consistently stay on the floor as far as the stars are concerned. But they're not afraid to rotate as far the way that the San Diego State defense works. So that's a huge advantage there. Plus, you got to look at the factor on San Diego State's defense. They've played the 7th, the 12th, the 16th, and the 33rd highest scoring teams in the country this year. They held those teams in this order: 64, 52, 57, 57 points. So that's another key factor in there for San Diego State. If they're able to do that with Creighton, a Creighton team that likes to score 70 plus, I think this is going to be all San Diego State all day long. Granted, San Diego State shooting isn't that great, um, but I think when you have a Creighton offense that's been kind of wishy-washy altogether, if you look at their tournament splits on this one, they put up 74.2% in 2-point range versus Princeton, but Princeton they just outmatched completely inside. 48.4% in 2-point range versus Baylor, and then they had 63.9% in 2-point range versus NC State. But this is San Diego State, way different defensive dynamic. I think San Diego State's going to really have full control of this game as far as the defense, and then they're just going to slow the pace down so they can kind of control what they want to do on this team. So I like San Diego State on this one, given to me at +2.5 and the money line +125 as my first play here, baby. Slapping your mama's okay, and hitting the gunshots as we go along here. And I want to make sure I get some love to the chat. It's going rocking. I see Free Mind in the building. What up, man? Troy Torrance says San Diego State first half. Don't hate it, but I'd like to actually see who's going to be up in the first half, and then maybe there's going to be a little bit of hedge action for the San Diego State side. We will see. Michael says, I don't know what to do with this Texas game. We'll get to that in a second. The line is 3.5. Assume that Texas big man is out. I have Miami future +45.5, but I think Texas wins this one. I mean, then you take them on the money line. Then I have a look on Texas on this one, and I'll get to it here right now. Let's get into the next game. Let's not bellyache around here. This is Miami. This is Texas. Best game of the night, I think. 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This game kicks off in T-Mobile Center, Kansas City, Missouri, a place that Texas knows really well because they have played multiple tournament games here already, including winning the Big 12, I believe, in this arena. And I'm going to be taking Texas on this one, folks. I'm done with Miami altogether. I hate them, and I keep fading them. I did take them on the money line versus Indiana, but I've been fading them all the way, and it's been costing me money, damn it. But I think this is the spot that they're going to be going home, packing their bags, and heading back to Florida. Let's see where they're from, though. Win over Drake. Probably a game that they should have lost. They pulled that off by 7. It's 2.5-point favorites. They turned the press on, and Drake kind of just folded like a cheap suit. Couldn't make a shot towards the last 3 minutes. It was absolutely disgusting. And then you have the win over Indiana by 16. As two 1.5-point dogs. And then they had the huge win, of course, as 7.5-point dogs versus Houston. Highs of highs. You have Coach L. I guess that's what he wants to be called now, dancing away like he's won the Final Four in the locker room for his boys, and they're all just jived up as a team. Texas, this is a business trip for them, man. Let's look at the offense. We know what Miami is: 6th in offensive efficiency, 23rd in field goal percentage, 71st in offensive rebounding, 18th in free throw percentage, and 48th in turnovers. You got to stop the offense for Miami any means necessary. Got to keep them from scoring points on this one. I'll break down how you're going to do that here in a second. Now, Texas's defense is 10th in defensive efficiency, 56th in defending shots, 218th in defensive rebounding, and 19th in creating turnovers. This is a good suffocating defense that I think they're going to be able to match up well with these guards here. Something that probably Houston could have done, but their shooting was so egregious in that game, it kind of kept them out of the whole entire game completely. It was absurd. Well, let's look at the offense for Texas. Another great offense for Texas here. 15th in offensive efficiency, 49th in field goal percentage, 191st in offensive rebounding, 63rd in free throw percentage, and 53rd at keeping the ball and not turning it over. Miami's defense, we know what it is. It's not the best. It's 104th in defensive efficiency, 195th in defending shots, 175th in defensive rebounds, 178th in creating turnovers. what Miami wants to do in this game and what they've been trying to do in this game. And granted, you saw them in last game. They were making a ton of threes. They just couldn't miss a shot if they tried. But typically their offense is kind of working inside the arc. Okay. 53.3% of their points come in the 2-point range. They are ranked 33rd in the country as far as 2-point percentage is concerned. Texas's defense, though, holds their opponents to 47.3% on 2-point shots, which is 59th in the country. This is out of the everybody in the tournament. This is the best stat or the best 2-point contending team that Miami has faced so far. So Texas's defense, if you want a little comparison, okay, they played Colgate and they held them to 51.2%. They averaged 56.9%, ranked 7th in the country in 2-point shots. Penn State, they held them to 53.1% on 2-point shots, which is right on their average, and they're ranked 60th in the country. And that game was close. That was a straight up push. So completely capped, sharp and perfect by the books on that one. Now you have Xavier. They averaged their average percentage was 44.7% in 2-point shots. They typically get 53.8%. They're 46th in the country in 2-point shots. So what you're seeing here is what Texas does is they make you miss shots. They keep the percentage low below your season average. And I think you're going to see this here. And I think Miami is going to have a few fits because on the defensive side, they're not going to be able to defend against Texas and what they bring to the table, in my opinion. Texas offense wants to score in the arc too. 54.8% of their points are 2-point buckets. And they shoot 53.9% from 2-point range, ranked 39th in the country. Okay. Miami, on the other hand, 240th in defending 2-point shots and allowing opponents 51.5% in that range. So you're going to get your shots and your opportunities inside. And Texas, that's what they want to do. So I think the yin and the yang, the strengths and the weaknesses plays a little bit in favor of what Texas does. Miami's defense versus 2-point shooters, Drake, they held them to 48.4%. I'll give them that. Tennessee was 53.2%, but they were 65th in the country in 2-point shots. And then, of course, what they did to Houston held them to 45.5. I'd take that with a grain of salt on this one because their expectation as a 2-point shooting team is not great. Field goal percentage, they're not great for Houston. They usually excel on the rebounding and second chance opportunities. And they display suffocating defense. That's kind of what Houston's game is. This is a different Texas team here, folks. Also, Miami when they beat Texas, beat Houston, they shot 57.1% from 2-point range and 44% from 3-point range. They are not going to do that to Texas here. I cannot see that at all. Absolute anomaly, way above their pay grade in that game. Coming off the highs of highs. Now they're going to play this Texas team that pretty much had a relatively easy stretch. They go and beat Xavier and make them look absolutely stupid. I think this team is going to be primed and ready to go to the Final Four and compete. So I'm going to be taking Texas -3.5 as my second play. Boom. And Dana's in there, says, stay hot, guns. Always stay hot. Always fire shots. Alonzo in the building. What up, my man? Your boy says, need Texas, have a Texas future, and having them win the region. Well, hopefully, you're not going to be trying to stomp out my UConn 24-1 to win the national championship ticket. So if that's just to get to the Final Four and get through the region, I salute you, my friend, because I like that pick. And J.R. Black has a God, not worried about Texas. Missing big man. They don't have a lot. Do they have a lot of size for Miami inside? There's nobody that really scares me. I'm looking more at the front court and what they're doing up front in that game. And for some reason, why the line's not shorter than this? I don't know why. And I'm thinking it's because it's not going to matter, and that's not going to what's going to decide the game. It's going to decide if Texas can defend the backcourt of the guard play that Miami brings to the table. That's where most of their scoring comes from. And I think Texas can do that. I think they can match up pretty well, and their defense is suffocating at best. So that's why I like Texas, whether or not the big man is playing in this game. All right. Looks like your boy says, if you want a Miami play, there you go, everybody. Get Michael on that one. He looks like he likes the Bulls. LeBron starting will mess up the chemistry. Yeah, of course. It's almost like Kyrie messes up the chemistry as well. All right. So to recap to you guys, and I forgot to add this in here, I'm going to be taking the under in the San Diego State and Creighton game. Like I said, when they play high volatile offenses, seems like they hold them within under 60 points. So I think they're going to be able to do it here. So I like the under also as an official play for the San Diego State and Creighton game. So my plays on this one, I'm going to go in San Diego State plus 2.5, money line plus 125. Going to be taking the under on that game as well, 134.5. And also I'm going to be taking Texas minus 3.5 versus the Miami Canes. Please say goodbye. I don't want to see you in the Final Four. I want zero ace. If Duke can't be in there, no ACT can be in there. That's what I say. So that's going to do it here for the Sunday edition of the not the late night bangers, the Breakin' Ankles show. Make sure that you like, subscribe to the Sports Wagering Network for all the content that comes out on this channel. We will be doing a Final Four show. There will be a Dad Bods as well. We'll be talking a little bit more on the baseball side rather than the college basketball side. But it looks like we're going to be doing a show Saturday to break down the Final Four. Got some special guests coming as well, so please check that out. It'll be me, Dabby, and a special guest that I will announce when we go live, before we go live Saturday. So that's going to do it, folks. Let's cash those damn tickets. I appreciate everybody that joined us in the chat. Your boy, Dana Delp, JR Black, Alfonso, Michael, and Cliff. Everybody that has showed up here. Sam Calmer, as always, you're my guy. Let's go have ourselves a day. Let's keep dominated. And by the way, if you're commenting on Twitter, I forgot to say this. I don't see it because I only see the YouTube comments. So why don't you get your happy ass over to YouTube and subscribe to the Sports Wagering Network? And then I can see your comments. All right. So that's going to do it, folks. Let's have ourselves a damn day. Let's cash some tickets like we did yesterday. Dominate, and as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.